Welcome to When Creativity Knocks All-Star Designers Holiday Series. And we're already up to winter. And you are bringing us the Wonderland.
Frosty Wonderland. Today I'm going to show you how to make a couple of home decor pieces that have a frosty feel to help decorate for the winter season. We're going to start with some white Makin's clay. Makin's clay is an air dry product, so it makes it really easy to use, and it also has a really wide range of applications. When I use the Makin's clay, I only cut off the amount that I want to use, and I put the rest into a Ziploc baggie with a damp paper towel, and it'll keep for a very long time. I cut off the piece of the clay that I want, and then I rolled it very, very thin, as thin as you can possibly get it, and I allowed it to dry. You want to let it dry about 24 hours to make sure that it's thoroughly dry, and then you can do some really amazing things with it. One of the neat things that I've discovered that you can do with Makin's clay and your Spellbinders machine is you can actually die cut the rolled sheets of clay, which is what I did to make all the snowflakes that I used for both of these projects. I used their snowflakes dies and followed the machine's directions, and it actually does cut the snowflakes. If they stick a little bit in your clay, if you just sort of gently pull and manipulate it with your fingers, they will come out. And any details that you have that may not be showing up great at first, you can just push those out with some sort of needle tool or something like that, and you will get all of those delicate details. So I die cut quite a few of these snowflakes for the project that I did, and it's going to totally depend on how big of a garland you want to make and how many projects you're making, but I like to make them up ahead of time, and then I have them for other projects. And what I like about using the clay is it's a little sturdier, and it'll last over time a little better than paper would for this type of application. Once I had my snowflakes cut out of the dry sheets of clay, I wanted to give them a little sparkle and a little more wintry zip. So I used the Clear Snap Schmutz Glitz product, and it's just a clear, sparkly layer that I just painted on and allowed to dry. And you may be able to see it better in this. It gives it a great shimmer without being a full glitter coat. Just a little bit of sparkle for a little bit of wintry, frosty feel. So once we've got all of our snowflakes ready, we made some other elements for our two projects. I again used the Makin's clay and one of their push molds, and I made some snowflakes, and you just push the clay into the mold and then pop it out. I don't allow it to dry because it pops right out of these molds so that I can multiple make these and I don't have to wait for each one to dry before I remove them. We also used some of these great Blumenthal Lansing silver snowflake button findings. And we made snowballs. And in order to make the snowballs, I used some smooth foam balls in assorted sizes because I wanted it to be sort of random. And I absolutely love and am addicted to Judykins rocks, especially these clear ones, because they really look like snow or ice. And I put a little bit of the Beacon Adhesives Quick Dry onto the surface of my smooth foam, and then I literally rolled it and sprinkled on the rocks and coated each of my smooth foam balls with the rocks and made these great icy snowballs. The first piece that I made can either be used as a holiday tree garland, or I used it around the candle that I'm going to show you how I made next. To make this, I used Rit dye, the evening blue, which I love, it's a nice medium blue, and just some white cotton fabric. I like to use sheets when I'm doing this kind of work because they're affordable, you get plenty of fabric, and they tear easily, and I love the look of the feathered edge when you tear fabric. So I mixed my Rit dye according to the directions. I put about 2 cups of water into a container, hot water, and added about a tablespoon of the dye because I didn't want it real concentrated. And then I put my craft gloves on to keep my fingers from getting all blue. And I went ahead and I dipped my section of the white fabric into the dye. I only let it set, literally just a minute or so. Pulled it out and I rinsed it because I wanted this kind of icy, cool blue effect. And then I heat set it actually in my microwave for about a minute or so to dry it. And then I tore that piece that I had dyed into these individual strips. To put together the garland, I took 5 of the strips that I tore, and they're about a 1/2 inch wide or so, and gathered them and tied them on one end. And then I began adding all of my frosty cool elements, my die-cut snowflakes, my push-molded snowflakes, which I did also coat with the Schmutz Glitz for sparkle, and my frosty snowballs that I made in the assorted sizes, and my silver sparkly snowflakes. I mounted all the elements with the Beacon Adhesives Quick Grip Glue. And then you have this great garland that you can either wrap around your holiday tree, or beyond the holidays, you can actually use it for winter decoration. Which leads me to my second project. Since I was in a wintry feel and I had leftover snowflakes, I decided to make a little luminary candle holder. I started with just a plain clear glass candle holder from a local dollar store, and I die cut more snowflakes with the spell binders and this sticky back material. I then randomly stuck the sticky back snowflakes onto the glass container, making sure they were good and smoothed down all the way. The edges were good and tight. I used the Etch All Dip and Etch to etch the entire outside surface of my candle holder, and I just followed the directions that come with the product and set that glassware down into a bowl full of the dip and etch with these snowflake stickers onto it. And once it was out and dry, I removed the stickers, and it leaves you, I don't know if you can see them, there you can see the light shining through that one. You have the great snowflake image and the frosty look around it. Now I wanted to give it a little blue tint, so I did a little bit of my mad scientist experimenting again, and I wanted to see what would happen if I tried to dye the etched glass. So I went back to my trusty evening blue Rit dye, the same container I actually used to dye the fabric, and I just inserted my etched candle holder down into the bowl of dye. And I let it set maybe a minute or so. And then when I lifted it out, I love the effect where the bottom, it's almost an ombre effect. It's a little darker on the bottom, and then it's a little lighter as you go to the top, and it just gives it more of the frosty feel. Because I'm a dimension junkie, I had to go ahead and add some of my Makin's Clay snowflakes with the Schmutz sparkle on them to give it a little more of a layer. And I think it's really pretty when you put the candle in it and the different layers show through and the colors. If you wanted to use your frosty garland, you could set this on a small side table and just set your frosty garland up around your candle holder, or just use your candle holder. But it's a great way to add a little winter wonderland to your home no matter where you live.
Cindi, I loved your winter wonderland, but my favorite part was the ombre light. That was so cool how you got that effect.
It was a really neat technique that I didn't even know you could do, and it was fun to share it with our viewers.
And you know, we have still a lot of goodies to give away.
Yes, go to our website and sign up for our mailing list, and you could be entered to win one of these 8 great boxes full of products from our 8 sponsors. It's a great chance to get your hands on some amazing products to work with.
You bet.